folks. Welcome to week number 3 of Interpersonal Communications Online for summer of 2014. I am recording this video on Friday, June 13th, and hoping to get this recorded early and sent out to you early because I know some of you are wanting to get started on your perception interview that is due next Wednesday. So I'm doing this a little bit early in hopes that I'll give you at least a couple extra days to work on this assignment. Please know, though, if you do want to work ahead on any of the assignments, you are more than welcome to do that, and I actually encourage you to do that, especially because summer can be so busy with vacation schedules and running with kid activities and just family obligations. So please know that you are more than welcome to complete assignments early. Also, please know that I am here if you just email me your rough draft of any of the assignments, whether it be the discussion posting or one of our papers. If you email it to me at least 3 or 4 days before it's due, I am more than happy to review it and then give you some feedback and suggestions for improvement. So know that you can work kind of at your own pace. The only thing that would hold you to somewhat to our schedule is remembering that you do need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates for the discussion postings. But there's nothing that, there's nothing saying that you couldn't write all of your discussion postings, post them, and then just go back and do your 2 responses to classmates as your classmates kind of catch up with you. I think I said earlier in our orientation video, I do have 3 sections of interpersonal communications online. And in one of my sections, I even have a student who has completed every single one of the assignments except her responses to classmates. So it is very feasible for students to work ahead. You just need it, to do something like that, you just need a big bulk of time because, most students tell me that during the summer, they spend anywhere from 6 to 10 hours a week working on my class alone, which does kind of make sense to me if you think about it. You're reading 2 chapters, you're prepping for the 2 quizzes, you are either doing a discussion posting or a paper, which takes a couple hours. So I can easily see how students would get up to that 6 to 8 to 10 hour range. So please know that that is one of the wonderful benefits of taking an online course, is that you can kind of work at your own pace and get stuff done as what works for your schedule. Okay, so that said, I am under content, and I am under the introduction week, and I've just got our schedule pulled up here so we can kind of look at our schedule together. So here is the schedule. As I said, we are in week number 3, and week 3 we are going to be focusing on chapters 3 and 4. Which is really they're really good chapters in that when you look at chapter 3, you're going to learn all about culture, how culture shapes our communication patterns, how it shapes our sense of self and our identity, which is right on track for doing your perception interview. We're also going to take a look in chapter 4 very closely at language, at verbal communication. And I think this is a really interesting chapter for students because we use language every single day, and yet we don't really take the time to kind of stop and say, really, is the language that I'm using the most clear or concrete or concise that I could use? And especially as we look into the workplace setting and we're dealing with clients and customers, what can we do to improve our use of language so that we are more clear and so that we are more effective in our communication with those around us. It's interesting. I was just talking with somebody with the help desk with HP. I was having a problem with one of my printers, and it was really interesting to me to kind of go back and forth. And there was one particular, they needed me to do the scan to see if they could figure out to help me troubleshoot with my printer. And it took probably 4 or 5 exchanges for the help desk person to get me to understand how exactly I needed to do that scan. And when I finally understood it, I said, "Oh, you need me to do X." And I repeated it back, and they said, "Yes." And I remember thinking in my head, well, if you had just said that clearly to begin with, it would have been so much more time efficient and effective. And so that's just one example of when we use language and we really don't take a minute to step back and to really think about our use of language. So I think it's a great chapter. I think you'll really get some wonderful tools for your toolbox out of chapter 4. So as we look ahead, here are the two assignments that are due. Your perception interview is due on Wednesday, June 18th, in the Dropbox. It does need to be saved as a Word document and then uploaded into the Dropbox. And so that's part of the reason why I had you practice up here with your expectations, extra credit, and scavenger hunt is because I wanted to make sure that all of you knew how to use the Dropbox and how to upload a document successfully. So please do make sure that you don't wait until the last minute. I have had students who say, gosh, I went in, I was going to upload my paper, and I realized that my computer clock was maybe a little bit slower than the D2L clock. So please don't procrastinate. Please try to get that in so that you're not finding that the Dropbox is closed. The Dropbox will close at 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. So give yourself enough time to successfully upload your document. Always remember too that once you upload a document, you should get a confirmation email through the D2L system that says you successfully uploaded a document. You should also be able to go back into the Dropbox, click on that document, and see what you have uploaded. So there are a couple of ways that you can just double check to make sure that your document is successfully uploaded. If you have not ever done a paper like this before and uploaded it, and you didn't do the extra credit Dropbox assignment, I really want to encourage you to go into one of the computer labs, either at the Eden Prairie campus or the Brooklyn Park campus, and have somebody there help you with doing the document upload. Simply because if you've not done it before, it can be a little bit stressful. I think it's pretty easy and pretty intuitive, but I say that as somebody who's been using D2L for quite a few years. So, and I just want to encourage you folks, anybody who is new to the D2L system, please make sure that you are using the computer techs on campus. If, for example, if you struggled with our first discussion posting that was due last week, those folks, all you need to do is go into the computer lab. They will walk you through how to do a discussion posting. They will walk you through how to respond to classmates. They will show you how to upload a paper. They will show you how to take an online quiz. Please don't be sitting out there by yourself being frustrated because you're not sure how to use the technology. That is one of the critical pieces of an online course, is if you're not sure how to use the technology and you're not able to figure it out, you're not able then to take the quizzes, do the discussions, or submit your assignments, which means that you will not be successful in our course. So I don't want you to feel frustrated. I want you to reach out and use those resources that are available there to help you with D2L. And those of you who are brand new to D2L, please don't feel ignorant or anything else. New technology takes a while to learn, so don't feel bad about it. But do reach out and get the help, because you do need to be proficient with D2L in order to be successful in our course. That said, I just want to kind of add a quick little note here, because I have gotten a couple of emails about two pieces of technology. The first one is when you are trying to look at the PowerPoint slides under each unit, sometimes you will get an error message. If you get that message, and it just depends on what you have uploaded on your computer or some of your computer settings, but I know some of you are getting an error message when you're trying to look at the PowerPoint slides. If you get that message, all you need to do is scroll down to the bottom of that document or the document window and click. There's a downward facing arrow. So if I go back under here under table of contents and I click on, let's go under Unit 1 here, and I click on Chapter 1 here. When I click on those PowerPoint slides and I see there was an error, all you need to do is go down to this bottom and click this arrow, and that's the download arrow. When you do that, it will download those PowerPoint slides onto your computer. You can open them then, you can print, you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to go back to Table of Contents here, and I'm going to go back under our schedule so that we can finish looking at that. The other note that I wanted to give you about technology is when you log on to our Cengage website, and I hope you all are using that because there are so many fabulous resources there to help you be successful in our course. There is an ebook that has all of our chapter information, and you can literally read the book online. There are audio summaries, there are practice quizzes, there are flashcards that you can study the vocabulary with. There are video simulations, there are games that you can play. I mean, I could go on and on. There's just so much there. Please make sure that you do use those resources, because they can really make a difference in helping you understand the material, engage in the material, and do well on the quizzes. So, but the note that I wanted to give you is when you log in using your access code that was inside your book, when you log in with that, you will see a sign that says, or a little window that says, do you want to, or what is your course access code? There is no CourseMate course code. I didn't create one. The course code allows me then to track each student at what you're looking, which slides you're looking at, or what you're doing on the online. I didn't feel the need to do that, so I did not create a course code. So when you see that one, when you see that message, just look over to the left and then you'll see all the chapters listed. You can just pick right from there. You do not need a course code in order to use the Cengage web resources. Okay, so those are my two notes. Again, just kind of to go back to recap what is due for week 3. We're focusing on chapter 3 and chapter 4. Your perception interview is due on Wednesday. Quiz 3 and 4 are due on Friday. Also, folks, just please remember that you are only allowed 20 minutes for your quiz. Any quiz that goes over that 20 minutes will receive a 0. And I'm not doing it to be mean or harsh. I'm just trying to keep the playing field level and fair for everybody. Okay, so I'm going to click back to table of contents here, and I am going to go under unit number 2. And I just really quickly want to talk about the perception interview that's due on Wednesday with you. So here is for every assignment that we have in class, you will have an assignment description and you will have a grading rubric. Here's the assignment description, and I have it kind of broken down into 3 steps. And then here is the grading rubric. So this is how I'm going to assess your paper once you turn it in. So for this assignment, this is all about your own self-perception and then how other people perceive you. So the first thing you're going to do is create 3 separate lists. Make sure to tell me who gave you the list. You can just put first names and then your relationship with that person. Your first list is 10 words on how you describe yourself. The second list is have a family member or a close friend create the same type of list, asking them to describe you. Don't show them your own list, because that tends to kind of then give them a place to start. We want them just to kind of give you a fresh perspective. The third list is an acquaintance. It could be an instructor, a coworker, could be a neighbor, and it's just somebody that you don't know well. And as we look at the step 2 and 3, you'll understand why. I don't want the third list to be somebody who knows you well. I want it to be just an acquaintance. Step 2 is to write 3 or 4 paragraph analysis of the differences and similarities between your lists. And as you're doing this, make sure that you incorporate textbook theories and concepts just like you did in your discussion postings. I want you to not just say this is a difference, this is similarities, but then to analyze those differences and similarities, making sure that you apply text concepts, making sure that you include definitions and page numbers as well. Step 3 then is to write another 2 or 3 paragraphs that describes and analyzes the physical, psychological, physiological, and somatic noise present in your interview. So focus on describing the context of the interviews, where they took place, and then again analyze your results from your interview, again using textbook concepts with definitions and page numbers. Please make sure too, when you highlight your text concepts in a different color or a different font, or underline them so that I can quickly point those out or be able to identify those. So an A paper, which is somewhere between a 27 and a 30, will have, of course, the 3 labeled lists, your own list, somebody who knows you well, somebody who doesn't know you well, and then an analysis that has 5 to 6 concepts from our text, including definitions and page numbers, and then again that it clearly demonstrates your understanding and ability to apply course knowledge. Just to reiterate, don't just tell me these are the differences, these are similarities, or this concept relates. Make sure you tell me how and why each of those concepts relates to your interview results. So that's what really demonstrates your ability to apply and analyze. Okay, so that is your first paper. Most of these papers, we have 3 to 4 paragraphs here, 2 to 3 paragraphs here. Most of these papers are between 2 and 3 pages in length. So that's kind of what you want to be shooting for. So again, I'm happy if you get your paper done over this weekend and you want me to take a peek. I am happy to do that. Just email it to me. All right, folks, that is it for week number 3. Enjoy your weekend. Please email me with any questions or concerns. Take care, folks.